Well, good afternoon. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Let me get my stuff going on this side here. And just gotta wait for this page to reload. Oh, there it is. Heyo. Alright. And over here too. You can see me. Alright. Look over. Still here, don't worry. Alright, I think. Had it for a sec. Let me get this one loaded back up. And we're gonna go to. Riveting content for a classic Arcane Comics New Comic Book Day stream. Alright, well, I'm sure at some point I'm caught up on one of the monitors. These are interesting. This one's like off by about 30 seconds. I'm sure that's exactly what everyone wants to know. Alright, well, the point is, I can read the comment section right there, so we're all set. Thanks for joining us today on this lovely second Wednesday of 2021. New Comic Book Day is in full effect. We've got all our books here. They actually showed up on time, so if you've got all your subs or special orders, those have been taken care of. We are in the middle of week 2 of Future State. So anyone who has been subscribed to any standard DC books, if you were on Detective Comics, don't worry, Dark Detective is waiting for you. If you were reading Justice League, you got that Justice League or Justice League Dark. In any case, Future State is here, as well as a pretty small release this week for Marvel and some other publishers, including Vault Comics and some other ones I've never heard of, like Ascension #1 from Wake Entertainment. I'm sure it's my new favorite comic. In any case, we do have a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to let Brian go ahead and cover all of the new issues for the week with a little bit more detail. He's got a full rundown for all of Future State, because don't forget, Brian is all in for Future State. If you are interested in any Future State related posts, please head on over to @MyLongBoxLife on Instagram. Give Brian a follow. And don't forget to head over to his twitch.tv/professor_0 to check out some of his really great streaming content. I believe we are right at the beginning of Brian's 2021 coverage of his journey through the world of comics, which he will get into a little bit more detail, I'm sure, when he's on here, but definitely goes into a lot of detail on those Saturday streams. So keep your alarms, your notifications on, and keep an eye out on Saturdays for those great Brian streams over on Twitch. Speaking of Twitch, we also have a Twitch account that we don't do much with, except last week. You can always go check out a full spoiler review of I believe it was week 1 of Future State, as well as Dark Knight's Death Metal #7, which was the big setup issue for whatever DC's doing right now. Brian made a point to read all of those, and I read none of them, because I knew he'd be reading it, and I would just be doing a stream with him later, so I figured I'd just let him do the heavy lifting as always. So if you are interested in any of the reviews or full spoilers for any of the first week of Future State or for Death Metal #7, head over to twitch.tv/arcanecomics. You can give it a view there, or if you're super cool, you can head over to YouTube, check out the Arcane Comics page there. I know Scott's got the CGC unboxing uploaded. I know he's got some other videos uploaded. We might even have that spoiler review up there. But we are working on getting stuff uploaded to that YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out. Just go over to YouTube and just search Arcane Comics. We'll be there. Beyond that, if you are interested at all in Future State, please check out @FoilNelson for all of your DC's Future State needs. Feel free to DM him directly if you have any questions about your subscriptions here at the shop. He will make sure to get to you immediately. That is @FoilNelson for all of your DC Future State needs. In case you can't tell, that's a joke. Don't. This is our buddy. This is all a joke. Don't DM him directly. We think this is very funny, but I do actually worry that Daniel is just getting inundated with a bunch of just obnoxious messages. I mean, very, very well-informed and justified messages about Future State. And I want to make sure we get them all answered, so please feel free to actually send those over to us at Arcane Comics on the Instagrams and all the socials. You can also email us, info@arcanecomicbooks.com. Give us a call, 206-781-4875. 2 or 3 tries, you'll eventually get through. Brian can answer a very simple question that, yes, we do have Future State Teen Titans #1 as visible right here. But I can't show you what's behind there. I'm contractually obligated to let Brian do all of this stuff. So I can at most acknowledge books, but I'm not technically allowed to touch them. That is Brian's job. Brian is watching me like a hawk right now, so I'm just gesturing at the books. I can at least touch these books here, but Future State, since Brian and Daniel are all in, only they are allowed to actually deal with the Future State books here in the shop. So Nelson, you better get down here because people's pulls are waiting. In any case, enough with that shenanigans. We do have some stuff that, if you are worried is not in your box, you can certainly contact us in the comments section or message us directly. But I will let Brian cover all of that new stuff. As far as any information about the shop specifically, we are still planning on continuing to get all of our books in a normal fashion. No surprise delays on anything. So as far as we know, we are expecting to get all of our stuff next week as well. If anything changes, we will let you know. As well as if anything changes as far as any of the in-store shopping or browsing goes, we'll certainly let everyone know what's going on if things change. But thankfully for us, we've been operating at a pretty safe kind of capacity and space since we reopened, so we've felt very comfortable not having to restrict any of the kind of stuff we've been making available. So if you are interested at all in any of the items on the wall behind me, I'm going to go ahead and tap out and let my friend Brian cover everything as far as the new books go. You might see me again once we start talking about trades, things like Hand Touch. Once we start talking about maybe some picks and whatnot. Spoiler alert. I might be back for that. In any case, Brian, do you wanna tap out? You wanna trade out for me? And I'll
We're supposed to touch each other.
do you want to tap in while I tap out? We'll do a virtual tag. Tag. All right.
Air high five.
BRB. Thanks, bud.
Hello. I wasn't watching him like a hawk. I was watching him like a dove. Not sure how many people are going to get the joke. But yeah.
That screen is not working. You should be able to see.
Oh yeah, I was just looking to see what it was on the screen. Like,
Actually,
oh,
let me
that's a
slide
weird.
in here real quick and switch this over to where it needs to be.
Okay. So, we have stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. So, we even have one thing on the wall that's from last week. because it came out and it was late, and I wanted to talk about it, so I put it on the wall. So, starting at number 1 in that corner, we have A Man Among Ye, number 4. We have the one of 2 non-Future State DC books. American Vampire 1976, and that is book 4. The latest issue of Amazing Spider-Man, number 57. The
Pardon me.
main cover, and then the back cover for 55, who had the Gleason cover. We are getting in the second print sometime, so if you missed 55's cover, you didn't want to buy a variant cover, you could get a different colored variant cover, because instead of being black and white, I think it's red and white going to be. We have American Mythology Monsters, number 1. The most when you think January, you think monsters, right? Who cares about October? We have Asingia, which is number 1. A new, so main cover, variant cover. Their logo, which takes up the entire back, kind of looks like it's Terry Dodson art. Oh no, that's Frank Cho. That looks more like Frank Cho.
The Robin Eternal stuff I think is interesting, but realistically, I'd say unless something really jumps out at you.
We have the Autumnal number 4. Main cover, variant cover. A lot of issue 4s. So for 3. Then we have Bear Girls that is breaking that stream of issues 4. So, main cover, and then a Scotty Young variant cover. Blade Runner 2029, number 2. You get your Peach Momoko cover, Sid Mead cover, and Claudia Carnafina cover. The nice thing about the Titan comics, they tell you who the artist is in the little corner. You don't have to try to recognize it or look into a book. We have Bleed Them Dry, issue 6.
Writing it, and he's having different artists come in and kind of illustrate. He's checking in on all of his stories.
2 different covers.
It's 100% just like a fun.
We have Bloodshot number 10, the Simon Bisley cover. We have the Cimmerian, which is Conan. The Frost Giant's daughter. So main cover, a Wolverine homage cover. This one, and the other Naked Lady cover. I guess the Naked Frost Giant's daughter cover.
He's got nothing better to do, honestly.
Going back to issue 4s, we have Commanders in Crisis, issue 4. Main cover, a very mediocre cartoon variant cover, and Chris Wada. Everybody's hanging out in their workout gear.
Alright, thanks, man.
Kind of cover. We have once again issue 4. This is Concrete Jungle. Lots of issue 4s. Much like Devil's Red Bride, number 4.
You got a question about it.
Stuff came out 4 months ago. we have Doctor Who. Oh, this is only a number 3. Then we have all the Future State, which I'll loop around to. Heavy, number 4. This is becoming an odd kind of thing for this week. Homesick Pilots, number 2. Think ever weird looking parent cover. We have Immortal Hulk 42. That says a 4 in it. Which has the main Alex Ross cover and the Nullified cover, which I think is the last Nullified
I think so.
character cover. So that's Nullified She-Hulk.
Sure, let's go with this gen.
Because the costume, like the outfit she's wearing, is fairly reminiscent of what she's been wearing in Avengers last couple months. It makes sense that She-Hulk would be on a Hulk book. We're going with that line of logic. Kick-Ass versus Hit Girl, number 3.
Language. This is a family establishment.
So Kick Donkey and Hit Girl. So we have 3, technically 5. Well, 5 different. We have 5 different King in Black books that tie into things. We have issue 1 of the Gwenom versus Carnage miniseries. So that's Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider, who is also now Gwenom because Ghost Spider's suit is a symbiote or something like that. I don't know. I haven't been reading it, and the build text page in the front kind of tells you that she has a symbiote suit thing, but she's still Ghost Spider, but she's also Gwenom. So that's issue 1. Planet of the Symbiotes. However you really want to pronounce that. This is sort of a little anthology book because there are 2 different stories. There's a Scream story, but also a Ravencroft Institute for the Criminally Insane story. There's 2 stories in the Planet book. We have issue 1 of the new Thunderbolt series. So main cover, variant cover, and it's a team of the Thunderbolts that have been brought together by Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin.
How many Taskmasters are on that team, Brian?
Only 1.
No, Brian. There's definitely 2 Taskmasters. There's no way there's not more than 2 Taskmasters.
So there's Taskmaster,
Nope,
but then the
clearly
other
2.
guy over there, that's Mr. Fear.
Nope, there's clearly 2 Taskmasters because that's obviously Taskmaster.
They're both dudes who wear skull masks and hooded capes and can shoot guns at you, kind of like shoot guns at you.
I'm sure that won't get appropriated by people who don't understand sarcasm or characters.
No, they wear skull masks, not skull shirts.
Ugh. Fine.
Because
can't
the
pick your
people
fandom.
who misinterpret Punisher are anti-mask, so they're not going to wear skull masks.
They are anti-mask. How is that a thing?
We
Gotta
have
live.
we have Lonely Receiver number 5, which is 1 more than 4.
Classic Brian joke.
Which is 1 more than 4, but 1 less than 6. So, Man's World, and man is spelled with 2 N's. Number 1.
Wait, it's about my friend Justin Mann and his family?
No, it's about.
It's about how they moved from New York to Eugene, Oregon in the mid '90s.
This is Leslie Mann's World. Co-written by Judd Apatow.
I was gonna say, so it's about Judd Apatow's
Wife.
also an actor, but
Yeah.
yes, sure.
This planet has its own law, but they just broke it.
Oh, dear.
That's what the little thing on. So, and then you have the other one where it has a crashing spaceship on the cover.
I like that.
We have the first of 2 X-Men books this week. We have Marauders number 17. There is a fight between Storm and Callisto in this issue, as the cover does promise you. So
Definitely Callisto and not Caliban.
Caliban's a dude.
I know! That was the thing. Like, I kept saying it. I'm like, it's not. I was like, that's not right. Why are you stuck on this one thing?
And so in Marauders 17, the island of Krakoa is preparing for their first state dinner.
Ooh.
So they're in
courtship.
No, they have a new location off of Krakoa, and so that's where they're inviting all these human heads of state.
Oh, because they're not allowed to be on Krakoa.
Because they're not allowed to be on the island.
Makes sense.
So essentially, the Hellfire Trading Company has a new
They have
building.
like an oil barrack.
Well, they have a new building that's on another island.
Mmm. That is V cool.
So that's what the building looks like. It's got plants on it. It's got a sentinel head in it. I chose to cover up all the text, and so you can look at the nice building. I run the reveal of the building, but so there's Mighty Morphin number 3, which is one of the 2 ongoing series. There's Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. So there's 2 different. So we have Origins number 3 of 6. 3 is 1 less than 4. So Red Atlantis number 3. 3 is once again 1 less than 4. Red Mother number 12. Savage Dragon 256.
It shows up as a sale. I like the adding of the credit without actually putting the line item in there.
So Scout Center number 1. This is a book that came out last week. It's the book that I wanted to at least highlight, that we got issues. Kind of a cool series. It is a new Aftershock series that the premise is it is after the apocalypse. The only people that sort of survived were a group called the Ranger Scouts, and the new law of the land happened to be their handbook. And so the book takes place like 300 years after the apocalypse. And so the Ranger Scouts are kind of the governing body of the society, and
$200.
it was yeah. So Kit, that's the name. That was finds out via the issue. They find out that the history of their world is not actually how it was, or how it actually was. So, how do you go about reconciling the history that you've grown up with actually finding out that the history is wrong?
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a very interesting idea
You don't.
It's She-Hulk anyways, right?
For-
It's all
for a new
find
series.
out, you're not doing that kind of stuff.
I know,
But it's part of the Hulk collection.
I get
if you gotta make it.
You know what I mean?
So we have,
I get
It's a
that.
variant issue.
if you want something new, I would recommend picking up Scout's Honor. At least the first issue to kind of check out what's going on. So Sweet Tooth number 3, The Return.
How are you folks today? We got some
Heck
hand
yeah.
sanitizer by the door. I really
So they
appreciate
return to the Sweet Tooth universe. We have Darth Vader number 9.
Do you have that design variant?
No, I didn't see we had any design variants on the shelf.
We definitely do not.
So even though it doesn't say it's a King of Black tie-in issue, Sword is.
I thought it was a Union, an Empire one. It says EMP somewhere on it.
Union is the Empire King of Black thing. But, well, Null comes to Earth, Sword, with their orbiting space station, was out in space. So they were outside of the influence of Null, but since Crow gateways are still a thing, they were able to come down and do stuff. So, main cover and variant cover, but from the Sword group, one of their head of security, which happens to be Cable, he was on the Earth at the time, and they lost contact with him. So they partially were going down to go see what happened to Cable. So yeah, so Adrian, we can totally put a Scout's Honor in your box.
Absolutely. On it now.
Change it for
And so then we have The Union, which says it's a King of Black book. It originally was supposed to be an Empire book, but now it's a King of Black book. And so I'm assuming that a large majority of this series got rewritten. Because, like, the first issue, you could kind of change some panels, but, like, no, with this second issue, it's definitely a King of Black. So, The Union is essentially a new UK-based superhero team, and how they're dealing with the events of Null's attack on Earth. Then we have, I think this is just a character spotlight issue.
Correct.
And all these people have some slightly names. So that is Snakes. That's his name. So that is Kelpie, Kelpie,
Sure. Why not?
who was an ancient water demon found living in a Scottish lake. There's Union Jack, who was the third different person to use that moniker. So then we talked about Snakes, who is this man of mystery from Northern Ireland, has the strength of 10 men. And then the person with the green hair is the Choir, a Welsh songbird with a voice that can shatter stone. So, like a Welsh black canary.
But not a Welsh Banshee?
Yeah, Banshee, Screaming Mimi, songbird.
Fair enough. I'm just curious, Brian. Are these all new characters?
Except for like Union Jack.
Yeah,
I haven't
but
heard
it's
of-
also a new Union Jack, right? It's
Yeah,
probably
it's
not an established one.
It says that he's the third
Okay.
person to be the Union Jack.
So realistically, this is an all new set of characters.
Yes. But
Are
it sort
we
of
to
sounds like
assume they're-
Britannia, who's the person in the middle, has been a person around for a while.
So do you consider this a mutant book? Or would you say this
No.
is more of like maybe just like super powered book?
I'd say it's more like the Avengers, Avengers UK.
Avengers. Okay, not like Excalibur, which is
No.
very much
Also
a
keep
mutant
track of-
thing.
Yeah,
to
because
me.
none of them are like they could have mutant powers, but they all seem to have some sort of like mystical connection. So it's more magic people.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they've always done magic stuff when it comes to the Brits.
Yeah. So we got through everything. We're coming back around to Future State. So we have Dark Detective #1, which is the one of 2 series from Future State that have 4 issues. Every week you'll either get an issue of New Batman or Dark Detective. So next week will be issue 2 of New Batman, and then we'll get
The next Batman.
the next Batman. New
Being
Batman.
real pedantic about it.
So, is that we have? So that Dark Detective has a backup story featuring Grifter, who is apparently now a Batman character.
Is it a grifter or the grifters?
Well, the only person that actually calls them Grifter in the series is Grifter.
I only ask because it
says grifters on the
plural,
cover.
so I'm just curious. In this future state, are there more than one grifter?
No, it doesn't sound like there's more than one Grifter. But there are probably people who work with Grifter, so they could possibly be called Grifters collectively.
4 of each.
So in Green Lantern #1, which has a backup story, there's one backup story with Jessica Cruz, and then there's also a other backup story with Guy Gardner. So the main story is John Stewart with a couple other lanterns. So there's like Nort and Kilowog is also featured, and a couple other lanterns. And so then there's Justice League #1, which has a backup story featuring Justice Dark.
Written by Ram V, so I'd say for any Swamp Thing people, you might have some interest in that.
Yeah. So then there is Kara Zor-El Superwoman, which is the Marguerite Bennett, Michelle.
Oh,
Savage?
Bennett and Savage are doing this. So these are
Yeah.
the people who worked on, if you were a fan of DC Bombshells back in the day, it's the Bombshells team back together. That's a gorgeous looking book. I want
And
to
so-
yeah, that's a
So then the next one is Robin Eternal, and that is Tim Drake as Robin.
not my Robin. Actually, what's really funny, Tim Drake is the one I'm the most completely indifferent to because I've never read anything with Tim in it.
So
He just wasn't my Robin.
Tim, and then Stephanie Brown shows up as spoiler, as the actual character spoiler, not
Gotcha.
as
A spoiler.
spoiler. Yeah, and so Dick Grayson is still Nightwing inside of Future State. Then they just allude that Damien is off doing something else.
Okay, cool.
So they didn't actually say in the book what Damien was doing. And then then we have Superman, Wonder Woman, which is one of 2 different team-up books with Superman, and that's the John Kent, currently Superboy version. There is also going to be a Superman Batman book.
Ooh, very cool.
And so that is teamed up with John Kent as Superman, and then the new Wonder Woman, the Yara Flor book. And then the last Future State book is Teen Titans. And so the Justice League in Future State is John Kent Superman,
Mm-hmm.
the Yara Flor Wonder Woman, Aqua Woman, who is the daughter of Arthur Curry and Mira, The I forget what her name is, but Green Lantern is the one from the Lost Sector book.
Oh, from Far Sector?
Far Sector.
That's it.
It was something Sector.
It was a sector.
Yeah. I think her real name is like Joe something.
I'll take your word for it. Unfortunately, I have not.
I
been
did
up on
not
that.
read the Fire Sector one. And then the Batman in there is the one from the next Batman.
Hmm.
And then the last member is the Flash. But it's not a Flash that we know.
Ah.
It's a new Flash. So some kind of non-spoilery kind of things. In Justice League, there is an event in Justice League as an organization's past that they introduced some new rules. There is no fraternization between members anymore. You don't get to know any of your fellow teammates' secret identities.
Interesting.
You can. They are currently at the maximum number of members that a Justice League can have, which is 6. They do not have a headquarters. The Hall of Justice, which is shown there, is now more of a museum.
Interesting.
And so they only gather together for like missions, and then once that mission is over, they kind of go to the, go off and do their own things. So it's like they show up, okay, we need to do the thing, we did the thing, okay, goodbye. Call me when we're doing another thing. So there's that. The Green Lantern book, all the Green Lanterns don't have their rings anymore.
Ah.
Because the power back there. I think the thing is that, at least with the John Stewart sort of section, is that he is sort of far out. They're too far out from the central power battery, so they don't have access to their power.
Interesting.
Kara Zor-El book, Superwoman. She is a colony of people on the moon. It's a refugee colony on the moon. And the dark detective inside of that is Bruce Wayne, because in the book, the stuff basically says that to the world at large, Batman and Bruce Wayne are dead, but Bruce is still out there doing some stuff.
And when is this? So this book takes place supposedly at a different time than than the next Batman book.
No, like that takes place a couple years after the majority of the Batman books.
Okay, so this is the one Batman book besides, say, like Batman Superwoman or Batman Wonder Woman. That
No,
happens.
Superman
Wonder-
Batman, I think, happens at a different time.
Okay, that's right. And
We
that
have
is
a little
we've got our guide here.
booklet thing that,
There you go, I'll just hand it to you.
because annoyingly enough, they do not tell you what time period everything happens in. So, Teen Titans and Dark Detective happen in the same year, according to this chart,
Okay.
which is different than the majority of the Batman books. So, Robin Eternal happens in a different year from Dark Detective and Teen Titans. Justice League happens at one point in time, but the Superman Wonder Woman book happens 20 years later.
It's kind of confusing if you ask me.
Yeah. But no, let's see. No, Superman Wonder Woman happens 30 years after the Justice League book in like a timeline, but the Kara Zor-El book happens 10 years after Justice League, but 20 years before Superman Wonder Woman.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. But last week's Wonder Woman takes place in the same year as Kara Zor-El's Superwoman. Yeah. Also, Teen Titans is a little confusing since it takes place partially in flashback. So it's sort of like it's a book that flashes forward in time to a time period that we're not aware of, and then then the characters keep on having flashbacks to things that are like 5-10 years back for them. But I'm like, it's entirely new information to us.
Brian, I appreciate you, as always, covering all the new releases for the week and keeping people fully informed with all of the future state releases. All 7 releases this week.
Yeah. Next week there's only 6.
Oh, back down to 6. So, and next week we know. We did you already cover it?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Do you want to let people know what's coming out next week? Because
So
I
next
know
week-
it's next Batman #2.
So, which they just listed as Batman.
And they're wrong.
So it's the next Batman #2,
Mm-hmm.
Catwoman #1 of 2,
Sweet.
the first issue of Immortal Wonder Woman, and that is that is the Diana Prince, the main Wonder Woman we know.
If you read Death Metal 7, I have a feeling that's maybe where we're gonna see what that character's doing.
Because that book takes place at the end of time.
Yes. Much after 80,020, whenever that Black Adam book supposedly takes place.
So then there's Nightwing #1, which Nightwing does show up in Teen Titans, but the Nightwing book probably takes place at a different period of time.
Yeah.
Then you get Shazam,
Ooh. Okay.
#1, and then you get the Superman Words of War. That is the Clark Kent Kal-El version of Superman.
And I think that's the one that is Philip Kennedy Johnson might be writing that one, who's going to be taking over some of this. He's been doing Last God and whatnot. That one I'm interested in just because they've got like a fantasy writer coming in on this.
I'm trying to think.
I think that's the one. I know he's taking over on the Superman books after Future State.
Yeah.
The main Superman book and the action book. So I believe he is writing that one at least.
So if you are interested, the Teen Titans book does have Red X in it at the very end.
So if you're looking forward to Titans Academy, which is Infinite Frontier, in the system now, you can get that book added to your list.
And so, Red X, as of this book, has been Titan for years.
Okay. Cool.
But they do have that, at one time, Dick Grayson was Red X, but then there's a separate Red X.
So this is not a Grayson Red X, obviously.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, so yeah, not the biggest week in the world. We'll take it.
There were a number of different things that I put on the wall.
Yeah, but there was a lot of stuff that came out this week that was just a little bit here and there. But as far as
we were
as
trying to hit
most
like
releases
the
go.
high points of stuff that new stuff, things that people would possibly want to know about.
Yeah,
ongoing stuff.
So if you are interested in any of the other releases that came out this week, you can always head over to arcanecomicbooks.com and just click on New This Week. You'll see a full list of everything that came into the shop, including reorder stuff as well. So, Brian, do you wanna should we start talking about maybe some picks this week?
We could talk about picks.
All right. Well, do you wanna start off with the picks? Why don't you even start off with yours, maybe? And I can. Here is a. Oh wait, let me get you a. Easel. There you are, sir.
So my pick of the week is not a DC book. It's been for like the last month.
Was it because I wouldn't let you pick all of Future State?
No. I have decided not to do that to Matt.
All for Matt.
I will eventually choose like a future state book or two.
There's got to be at least one that's gonna supersede that love for Matt.
So I picked the Chris Claremont Anniversary Special.
That was a cool release.
So there's the main cover, the
But the knock one that
That's
looks like
the-
the Art Adams rip. Or is that the and then there's a Laraz that's like a Sienkiewicz rip.
So this is a book that is written by Chris Claremont. It's sort of a greatest hits of his career at Marvel. He kind of hits various kind of things. He hits, New Mutants, like even it's Fantastic Four, X-Men, all sorts of. But each as it kind of goes through various different parts of his career, we have a whole bunch of different creators. So yeah, we get Bill Sienkiewicz, Sean Chen, Diego Ortoloi, Brett Booth on art, Mark Deering, Robert Poggi, 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 and Delso Corona on inkers. So yeah, you get 4 different artists, which kind of give you 4 different eras. So essentially, Moonstar. That's Moonstar. It's not Moonshadow.
Danny.
Yeah.
Star. Yeah. Bye.
Is essentially fighting Hela across time.
What the hell is going on, Brian?
Yeah. Because Hela wants to take over and do stuff. And there's also some Shadow King involved in there.
Reminds me of my favorite Gwen Stefani's hit, Hella Batgirl.
So it's only the backside of Hela?
Not getting down that road. Nope. Mm-mm.
So I did like that the he was referencing his Fantastic Four run. So I don't think a lot of people talk about.
I think that was post-burn,
That's post burn.
pre.
No, this is like Heroes Return.
Oh God! Oh
and
yeah,
like
that's
era,
why.
like
Yeah.
late like 90s, like 98.
Yeah, this was after they had to recover from Heroes. Oh yeah, from this 8 ounce. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
I think also in that area is like also Scott Lobdell, like Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's definitely FF. I did not read.
It's FF I read.
I'm sure it is, Brian. I don't fault you for it.
Yeah, so that was just kind of like,
More respect to you for having read it.
yeah, it was just kind of like looking at like, oh hey, I did not think that I would see a book reference that era of Fantasy Four in a book in 2021. But hey, there was a character in the DC book from last week that I didn't think I'd see referenced in a book in 2021.
No, Derek, I did not mean that one. That was the easy. That was the easy pull to make. No, I went for the overly difficult one. No. The Hella Good Song. That's right there. No. A bridge too far. That's my brand. Yeah. I go for the flop punchline. It's my brand of comedy. All right, Brian. Who's up next? We got.
We could just go down the pile. if you want.
Let's just go down the pile.
We have Oh My Gods, which is Dylan's pick of the week.
Matt was mentioning that book. I have no idea what.
So I could read you the back of the book.
Please do. Let's keep the Dylan's Dynamite tradition alive.
Karen is just an average 13-year-old from New Jersey. She loves to play video games with her friends, and watch movies with her mom. But when she moves to Greece to live with her eccentric, mysterious father, Zed,
Zed's dead, baby.
suddenly everything she thought about herself and about life is up in the air. Starting a new school can be difficult, but starting school at Mount Olympus Junior High, where the students are gods and goddesses,
Okay.
just might take the cake. Greek mythology, a little less myth, a little more eek.
Okay, I'm 100%
And
in on this book now.
and if Karen's classmates are immortal beings, what? Who does that make her? Before she can figure it out, her fellow students start getting turned into stone. And Karen seems to be the likely culprit.
Uh-oh.
OMGs! Can Karen clear her name, find out who is causing the stone cold chaos, and maybe possibly make some new friends while she's at it?
I am all in for this book now. Greek mythology and puns? Yes, please.
Oh my gods!
Okay, now I see why Dylan and Matt were talking about this book. This sounds like an absolute blast.
There's a centaur student.
Are they the Sentry?
No. Just a girl who's half
Or
horse.
Centaur?
Yep. Who's talking to a fawn. So, half goat boy.
Jim Brewer?
No, that would be half a Jim Brewer, because he's half goat boy. So we have Dave's Dish. So, Sylvia Field with like a... And oh my gods.
You got it.
So Dave's dish of the week is, since I can't, you don't want me to saying donkey earlier. I'm not sure if I can say this whole title.
Sorry.
So we have Space Illegitimate Children.
Brian, you can say it. It's fine. You're quoting something. It's okay.
You didn't like me saying.
That's just because I've.
So, we're calling it Space Illegitimate Children. So then there's also the variant cover. Sort of like that weird thing where in like YouTube videos they can show a thing in the thumbnail, but if you even try to like remotely show it in your video, your video gets demonetized.
Really?
Yeah. I have one channel who does that all the time. Like they like show something in like the thumbnail,
Yeah.
but then when you actually get into the video, it's like a censored version. Because it's like, we don't want to have the video demonetized. But it's like, then why is it in your thumbnail? I think it was more of, we're going to show it to you, but we're going to do it in a way that doesn't get us demonetized.
Well, it's all about keeping up that monetizing.
Because it's like, they still want to make money from the videos because that's,
That's the whole reason we do it.
it's one of their money streams. So Jeremy's Jam, which I totally thought Jeremy's Jam was going to be Sweet Tooth number 3 because it's the Lamar book, and I totally thought this was going to be the Dave's Dish, but it wasn't. We have issue 1 from a new Terry Moore series called Cereal. Not like the breakfast item. I haven't read a lot of Terry Moore, but Terry Moore, from Stranger's Paradise, Rachel Rising, 5 Years, Echo, Ever, Stranger's Paradise. So yes, the Abstract Studio is, I think, Terry Moore's own studio. Since like all of his books come out for that things, and like all the heads are Terry Moore books. Trying to get more stands. And they were trying to fight me. What? They were trying to fight me. I'm trying to get them out of the box, and they kept on like not wanting to go. So that's why there's one on the floor.
Oh, well, here, let me give you the one. These ones I don't. Those ones.
So are those not okay ones?
Well, my concern when we put single issues on those, because of just the bottom of them, they get flayed out. They're just annoying. So, I'll give you the good ones.
So Matt's must-have of the week is Haha,
How are you, sir?
which is a book written by Prince.
It's a series of one-shot stories. You know, some good humor in them. Oh, just don't worry. Just put the standard cover on. We're not gonna have enough room.
And then there's a blank cover, and then
How are you folks today?
another cover.
We got some hand sanitizer.
I think this is the main cover, and the thing that I had on top was the variant cover. But yes, haha. Which is by W. Maxwell Prince, not the purple one. Then Vanessa Del Rey does the interior art, and it's, you know, about clowns doing stuff, not so funny things. You know, like all clowns do. They do not so funny things. So
Alright,
the
we got mine now.
So the last two books are collected editions.
Why don't you do Scott's, and I'm gonna make sure I get this cereal added to Adrian's box.
So Scott's scoop of the week is a new collection, I think.
Yeah, new collection of things that we've experienced before.
So this is the collected edition of The Mighty Thor and the Eternals, the Celestial Saga, which this collects issues 283 through 301 from Mighty Thor with annual number 7. So prepare now, the Eternals are coming. They should have already been here, but the movie got delayed. Roy Thomas brings Jack Kirby's Eternals into the Marvel Universe in one of the greatest Thor sagas of all time. The Mighty Thor confronts Odin with questions about Ragnarok, his mother, and the threat of the towering cosmic beings known as the Celestials. Odin refused to reveal the truth, sending Thor on a quest for answers. Thor's journey will bring him face to face with the Eternals and reveal the long-hidden secrets of the Marvel Universe. Thus is the stage set for an unbelievable war between gods. Before the dust settles, the fourth host of the Celestials will descend on Earth to lay down their judgment, and both man and God may be found wanting. Signature.
So again, hitting those Eternals real hard.
So that's classic. Getting some nice kind of Kirby-esque, designs. So did you get, if you didn't get enough Eternals with last week's release of Eternals #1, you could pick this up. Thor and the Eternals, the Celestials Saga. So,
Alright.
last but not least, is Kinshi's Keeper of the Week.
Alright. You slide over and I'll grab that one. Alright, so for anyone who was curious, my pick for the week was the 10-Speed Press published David S. Walker, who Marcus Kwame Anderson was artist on this. But basically, Dave wrote a history of the Black Panther Party.
Not the Marvel Comics character.
No. However, that was part of where the inspiration for that name came. So for anyone who knows me, I'm always a big fan of a lot of historical adaptations, comics, or stories in that sense. But this one in particular, I have a big fondness for. A lot of first-hand knowledge, having read a lot of the history of this back in college and even younger than that. So I do have an affinity for the Black Panther Party and very much what that organization stood for. A lot of community-based stuff. Very much an organization that was for supporting the community. And I'd like to think that this is a very well-informed, well-researched story of that. I would not say this is a politicized book. I think the history of the people themselves were overly politicized. Shout out, I think there's going to be a new, Fred Hampton movie coming out soon, which looks real good. Hopefully we'll get some more stories about, like, Stokely, get some other members of the party there. But yeah, I would say if you are interested at all in the Black Panther Party or any of the kind of social movements that were coming out of, the black community in the late 60s, early 70s, oftentimes stuff that informs a lot of kind of contemporary grassroots organizing. This certainly would be a good book worth your time. I've got a handful left on the shelf right now. Thankfully, 10-Speed Press is carried by Penguin Random House, so we will be able to reorder this book in perpetuity, I hope. But yeah, I do really appreciate how they've even reprinted the 10-point program. And I'm hoping that they're going to have, if you just look in the back, I do really appreciate not just the acknowledgments, but they do also have a lot of really great index here. So if you have any information about how Angela Davis fits into this, or some other people, or opportunities, or other sort of organizations, I would highly recommend picking this up if you have any interest at all in historical comics and or the Black Panther Party itself. I trust David did a very good job researching this book, and I would certainly say that it's worth your time if you have interest in that at all. But yeah, realistically, we've got some great picks across the board here, covering quite an array of stuff. Some very inappropriately titled books I see here. Some very, very fun books. I will also say, anyone who's interested, whether clowns are or are not your jam, might certainly be a book that would interest you. Like Brian said, it's from the writer of Ice Cream Man.
I just mentioned the name. I didn't mention that they...
Well, he should have mentioned that. But what's really interesting about this is it's a series of one-shots.
Balloons.
We did get some promotional items as well. But yeah, this is going to be just a series, basically an anthology. So if you enjoy kind of the nature of Ice Cream Man, but are looking for something a little bit more clown-centric in the vein of that, I would definitely check that out. W. Maxwell Prince is a very interesting writer, and I think certainly going to be some more stuff from them coming in the future. Yeah, no problem. Adrian, we got one right there for you. But yeah, I did also want to say, now that we've kind of covered some single issues and the picks for the week, we did also get a handful of new releases in trade hardcover wise. So I figured this is now a good opportunity maybe to cover some of these in case anyone is interested. We do have the Marvel Cosmic Universe collection by Donny Cates. So this is a really nice hardcover, oversized hardcover collection. We're gonna get, let's see. So we've got the 13 to 18 of Thanos, so that's when he comes in, introduces the Cosmic Ghost Rider character. You've got his 5-issue Death of the Inhumans miniseries, the 5-issue Cosmic Ghost Rider miniseries, as well as, ooh, heck yeah, it's worth it just for the Silver Surfer Black oversized art you'll get in here.
There's also a Silver Surfer Black cover that I think we still have.
Yeah, the Silver Surfer Black direct market cover is still available as well. And then this does contain the Thanos annual. So if you are interested at all in any of the kind of cosmic stuff, maybe this is where he sets the stage, creates some characters that we're certainly going to be seeing with this King in Black Null stuff. This might be worth your time here. This is $100, but it is oversized and it does contain a good amount of stuff. But there are multiple covers of this available. So if you're interested at all in any of the new kind of Donny Cates stuff, especially the cosmic stuff, this will be right here. Sticking with the Marvel cosmic stuff, we do have the Dreaming Celestial Saga from the Eternals run here. So this is going to be the 85 run? Yeah. So this is 85, 1 through 12, Iron Man Annual number 6, a couple issues of Avengers, and then, ooh, the What If stuff. So that might be worth it for you there.
What if they had some backup stories that were like not what if?
Okay,
things, but they
interesting.
were actually legitimate, like main Marvel stuff.
Oh, it's the Gruenwald What If stuff. Interesting.
Which I found a little weird.
So yeah, so this is the Gillis Simonson Eternal stuff. So obviously past the Kirby stuff, before the Gaiman JRJ stuff. This is very much when they were just establishing some more canon for a lot of these characters that hopefully we'll see represented well in a movie that may or may not come out in a theater. I guess Black Widow they're going to push towards Disney Plus now? Is this the idea?
Or they'll do a thing where, watch it now on Disney Plus or in theaters.
Yeah, yeah. And then, ooh, Ryan, do you want to talk about that one? I know
Sure.
you were excited about that book.
So we have a collection called The Vision and Scarlet Witch, the Saga of Wanda and Vision. So this includes giant size Avengers number 4, which I think that's the issue where Wanda and Vision get married. There is the 4-issue Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries from '82, the 12-issue Vision and Scarlet Witch series from '85, and West Coast Avengers number 2. So if you're getting excited about seeing WandaVision this Friday on Disney Plus,
I have a feeling you think that's going to be
that
some of the basis for it.
kind of given what the previews, the ads kind of do, it's most likely going to be at least pulling bits from the stuff here from
Again, Brian.
Vision and Scarlet Witch
Not
from the
Arcane After
80s,
Dark. Stop saying pulling bits. I knew that'd get a smile out of you.
pulling chunks,
All right.
pulling portions,
First of all, that's Chelsea's job.
pulling chunks.
Yeah. I think this is all very funny, so I don't really care that more than 3 people are getting that joke, and all 3 of them are in this room. All right, jokes for the writers' room.
So yes,
A lot of inside baseball.
Vision and Scarlet Witch, the Saga of Wanda and Vision. WandaVision.
Alright, so moving on, we do also have a very nice reprint of the 47 Ronin book as illustrated by the master himself, Stan Sakai. Mike Richardson wrote it. But more importantly, Stan did illustrate this. So this has had a couple of different versions over the years.
Various sizes, or has it always been in
It's
the
usually, I think it's usually around this size. They might have done an oversized hardcover at one point. I hope
By
they have.
oversized, you probably mean normal size comic book?
Potentially, I feel like they might have done one that was a little bit larger. The point is, if you have not read this historically informed story of the 47 Ronin, classic Japanese folklore, although it did actually happen, you can certainly read this. I might say, if you're looking to pair a nice historical reading here, you might pair the 2 of those together. Both these books potentially would end up on my shelf. I'm not covering up your Thor Eternal.
Is that based on that Keanu Reeves movie?
It's based on the classic Keanu Reeves movie, Chain Reaction.
Oh, okay.
All right, well,
Not a Scanner Darkly.
that would be pretty cool. We have, finally, we have the collected edition of That Texas Blood, Volume 1. The nice thing is, this is one of those great $10 image trades.
This Texas Blood.
That Texas Blood, as illustrated by Jacob Phillips, Mr. You might recognize the cover artist. Yeah, it's Sean Phillips, kid. But if you enjoy some good crime, some good Lone Star State crime, I might recommend checking out this book here. I believe the plan is for a volume 2. I don't know if they've announced
Are they moving
the issues
states?
yet. We'll see. We'll see. You'd have to read
That Connecticut Blood.
that Arkansas blood, that Arkansas congealed blood, or Oklahoma, or wherever else they're running off to. The point is, I would say, if you're looking for a good crime book,
That Maine Blood.
yeah, I would say for fans of Criminal or fans of Brubaker Phillips, it's a Phillips. Might be worth checking out. But I would say we're hoping this will be somewhat of a season 1, if you will. We'll get season 2 announced in a little bit. And then the last one I did want to talk about for creator-owned stuff was we finally got the collected volume of X-Ray Robot from the All Reds. So Mike and Laura were illustrating this. We've got Picos from Blambot on letters. But yeah, this is it's the All Reds doing a great sci-fi story with kind of powers and robot people. And there it is. Ooh, look at that. So yeah, I would say if you enjoy Madman, this certainly would be worth picking up. It's definitely not Madman, but it's the All Reds doing superheroes, doing sci-fi, doing their kind of zany stuff. I'm sure there's at least 3 Bowie references in here. The point is, we do finally have a nice collected volume of this great 4-issue miniseries from Dark Horse. So if you were waiting to get your hands on that trade,
Everyone has knives, but the knives have like lightning bolts on the handles.
shh, it's coming later. That's the next Avengers movie. All right. We have a handful of some all ages stuff as well that is worth probably at least bringing up for some of y'all. If you have some fans of some silly books, oh sweet, James Kolchalka now has a Scholastic book. So Banana Fox and the Secret Sour Society. Perhaps you're familiar with Kolchalka's other work.
Johnny Boo.
Like Johnny Boo, all that stuff. Things that I believe he's done at some other publishers, but this is officially a Scholastic graphics book. So if anybody you know likes silly, wacky, just Johnny Boo style humor, Banana Fox and the Secret Sour Society might be what your people are looking for. We do also have Hound Heroes, Beware the Claw.
The Claw.
These clearly they're exactly what they say they are. I don't need to get into this. Do you know people in your life who like animals and superheroes and being silly and funny? Then there you go, Hound Heroes.
So, do you think the Hound Heroes would be going out on patrols with their paws?
Brian, that's gimmick infringement, and you know they're definitely not patrolling with their paws. This is a real shinning situation, if you will. So if you have some people in your life who do love the cat and cat adventures, we have volume 3. Oh man, Dad's Got a Date. Ew.
Dad's Got a Date, Entertainment Weekly.
Yes. Most importantly, if you or anyone you know is a fan of the Cat and Cat series from the Paper Cuts, that's with the Z line, we do have volume 3 of this, the continuing adventures of the Cat and Cat line. And then, Batman and Batgirl Unite, a book about teamwork. So this is going to be for probably some very early young readers, people who maybe have not got a lot of comic books and are still working on graduating from board books. They still enjoy a good picture book. That's really what this is going to be. So we like to carry comics or comic-related items for literally all reading levels. So I would say this is very much going to go in that early reader section for us. So if you know anyone in your life who is looking forward to learning about teamwork through the veil of superhero stories and beautiful books like this, ooh, that's cool. I'd say this is going to be worth your time. So as you can see, not a lot of words, not a very challenging read, very much for the inexperienced readers, the people who are practicing reading. So if you got to build that foundation for literacy, you can start with Batman and Batgirl Unite. It is a book about teamwork. Discover the power of teamwork. What is this? This book encourages social awareness, social emotional language. So in case you needed a more direct thing to tell you what this book is good for, there's a label.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I just love the idea that like some adult's gonna read that and go, "Oh, now I get what this book is about." Like maybe you should read the book if you don't know. Yeah, Derek, I've got. So this is the standard cover one. Brian, can you go see if that Silver Surfer Black cover's there? So yeah, it's basically just $100. They say it's an omnibus, but I mean, this is what Marvel Comics costs. So, but yeah, you're basically getting like all the stuff Donnie was doing that led into his Venom run, that led into like his Thor run. So yeah, so you're getting all of the end of that Thanos one. So the stuff that Lemire was doing, this is when Donnie took over. And then, yeah, you get the, the Death of the Inhumans. So, remember when the Inhumans were going to be a big thing at Marvel? He wrote the death of that. I think the people who put that show out wrote the death of that one. Then Cosmic Ghost Rider. You get that really gorgeous Silver Surfer Black miniseries. And then, the Thanos annual. So it's not a ton of stuff, but it is basically everything he's done that isn't Venom and, and Thor. But yeah, there is this one, and Brian is just grabbing that really nice looking cover that's exclusively just that Silver Surfer Black character. I think it's a Trad Moore cover, so it looks real cool. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, so it's going to be the standard cover like was on the Silver Surfer Black Collected Edition. So hopefully the glare isn't killing it. I'm waiting for my monitor to catch up. There you go. Ooh. I won't drop it, I promise. So I'll just set that right there and you can think about it. Alright, so that... Oh, last thing I will interject. We got a Marvel... What is this? Marvel-verse Captain Marvel. So once again, these are the little $10 collections that collect like 4 or 5 issues in no consecutive order, basically giving young readers an introduction to the character without giving them a full narrative. So this is going to be Avenging Spider-Man 9 through 10, Captain Marvel 7 through 8, and Generations Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel. So very recent kind of Captain Marvel stuff. Ooh. So yeah, once again, nice little $10 introductory book for any kind of uninitiated reader.
Marvel-verse things have just been nice. Like, hey, did your kids see thing?
Do you not want to buy them a whole book because you're not sure if they really like it?
Yeah, so it's just like, okay, here. So they went up from seeing the movie. Here's the comic books. We're like, okay, did they like that? Then you can start going up and do more books.
Yeah. So, get that pulled. So I'll set that aside for them. And then Brian, do you want to drop those last two real quick for me?
We have the Mythics.
So I believe that is a Paper Cuts book.
Yeah, which could go with Oh My Gods.
Could, very well could.
Because the ancient evil has returned to, or they have been banished from millennia. The old gods who fought them have the old gods who defeated the old gods who thought they had defeated evil must find new heroes. 6 children from all over the world who are chosen, joining. The first 3 are one from India, one from Mexico, and one from Greece. So it slightly sounds like they're doing like a Power Rangers, kind of like young kids thrust into trying to fight some ancient evil.
Or they could be Planeteers.
Planeteers, Power Rangers.
Does anyone have the power of heart? Because Mati is my favorite Ranger, or my favorite Planeteer. That's a side note. I just like Mati because he hung out with animals, and Wheeler just seemed like a real dick. Sorry, jerk. I don't like Wheeler. I don't
think many people
I don't
like
generally like characters that shoot fire. I feel like Johnny is the exception, but for the most part, I feel like
Johnny doesn't really shoot fire for the most part. He's more of on fire.
I guess
he
what
can
I
shoot fire.
Sure, I guess more the thinking that most characters that seem to be related to fire
Are
seem
hotheads?
to have yeah. It's a very easy trope to write, so I don't generally like. However, if Guy Gardner had fire powers, that would be dope. Also, check out that Future State Green Lantern book. The Guy Gardner story is super fun. Like, I'm not. Come on, like.
Guy
look at that.
Gardner loses the ability to use his ring, so he's trapped on a planet for many, many years. And what he uses with his time is to create a new version of the Warrior's Bar. And kind of becomes a god.
I just love the, like, tell me again why I'm taking orders from a squirrel. Eat a wormy nut. I apologize to everyone that Guy Gardner is my favorite Lantern, because I obnoxiously tell people to read Guy Gardner comics.
So, Savor. Savor?
Savoir faire?
There's no fair in it.
Oh.
It's Savor. Savor. Savor.
Not to be confused with the Flavor book from Joe
So,
Keating and...
An adventuring chef must face the 5 deadly restaurants, assemble the ultimate knife, and defeat a band of pirate cooks to save her island and the woman she loves.
Heck yeah.
So, sort of sounds like a kind of a Delicious in Dungeons sort of thing going on.
It's V cool. Alright, well...
Which has a quote by
Excuse me.
Kurt Busiek on the front.
Ooh, Kurt Busiek, you say?
That's Kurt Busiek. And there's a quote from Brian Michael Bendis on the back.
I bet it's a real long quote. But it's got a lot of real quippy dialogue.
It's like 5 lines.
I love Alias. Alias is a very good comic.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones is a great character. Miles Morales is a great character. I really like the things that Bendis has introduced to the world of comics. I just don't want to read his dialogue anymore. It's fine. It's fine. It's better than fine. Bendis is great. Speaking of great, I did want to share one very good piece of news with a lot of our customers here in the shop. We've had a lot of inquiries online as well, but we finally got confirmation, and that's right, we are bona fide now. We are an official Bad Idea retailer. So for anyone who has had any interest or has heard anything about the Bad Idea publishing line of books, of comics, we are officially a retailer of theirs. We are, I believe, one of 154 comic book stores in this country that will
Or
be
3. One of 3 in the state of Washington.
that will be selling Bad Idea books. So for anyone who has shown any interest in this, I know we've had some customers who have asked about what we'll be carrying, if and when we'll be carrying them. We did finally receive confirmation. I'm just putting this thing in back here. We did finally receive confirmation. Ooh.
And then we also got in some promotional stuff.
Yes, so I'm going to be going through that just now to give y'all an idea of what we're going to be getting. So,
Those other issues of Adventure Man?
like I said.
I already have those other ones.
So yeah, so this is to officially certify that
They sent
Arcane
it
Comics is a bad idea.
to, they sent it to us in
Retailer.
that frame. We
When
didn't-
you think bad idea, you should think Arcane Comics. If you've ever worried about whether or not we were a retailer for bad idea, they sent us a giant sign to tell you that we are. I'm just glad we finally know. But like Brian did point out, they did send us some really great flyers that are very informative about a lot of the titles they will be carrying. So if you do have any interest in this, when you're in the shop, let us know. And we've got a handful or two of them. But realistically, I do appreciate on the back we've got a full checklist. So coming in March of 2021, we've got the first release with subsequent releases in April, May, June, and July. So for a lot of people who have no idea what's going on, Bad Idea is a new publisher working with a lot of established talent. So we've got people like Matt Kindt writing at least one book for them. I believe Robert Vendetti's got a book in here. Yeah, it looks like Vendetti and Juan Jose Reap are going to be working on some stuff here. Ooh, what's that?
Bennett.
Whalesville from Matt Kindt as well. And then, yeah, we've got the Marguerite Bennett, Renato Getty's book coming in.
Well,
Zeb Wells and David LaFuente. Looks like, more Matt Kindt. There's the Joshua Dysart book, and most importantly, I don't care what that is. Ooh, look at that. Look at that Alexis Zarid up there. So as Scott...
Tony Millionaire.
Oh,
thing coming?
very cool. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the stuff in the back is, whether these are going to be involved as one-shots or whether this is just promotional art as far as what they're going to be carrying.
Or it's art for future titles that they haven't announced, but they just want to like, hey, we have somebody working on a book.
Yeah, so if you were curious, yeah, they've got Brendan McCarthy working for them. So based on who's here, we assume someone picked up Valiant's contracts based on Kindt and Dysart. I'm sure Andrea Ponticelli's working on something. Lemire, where are you at? In any case, we do have these nice little preview books that they gave us. So if you have any interest at all in the Bad Idea line of stuff, please let us know. This is not your standard comic book release. You cannot just pick up an issue. We have some very explicit rules that we have to follow for release of these books. In fact,
Like?
I might introduce maybe a very well-informed person who's been dealing patiently with all of their emails and calls and requests. Scott, do you want to give us an idea about what's going on with Bad Idea?
Yeah, the rundown is that they are going to be limit one per customer. If you subscribe to any of these series, you're going to be subscribed to the entire run. So
All 4 issues?
ENIAC's going to have 4 issues on their first release. So if
Tankers
you
3.
if you sign up for ENIAC, you're going to get all 4 issues. We have to order the same quantity of every issue as we order of the first issue. So if we order 40 copies of ENIAC number 1, we've got to order 40 copies of ENIAC number 4. So as such, if you sign up for something, you're signing up for the series, not just issues.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to try to guess about a good quantity to have on the shelf, but it's please let us know if this is stuff you're interested in, because we can totally get you down for it, and we'll make sure you get the books you want.
Yeah, a big thing, a big, thank you, Scott. A big reason they're doing this is Bad Idea is trying to cut out the speculator market. They're trying to make sure that readers are getting this, so there's no second printings.
There's no markup. You can't mark it up for 30 days.
Yeah. So yeah, cover price is cover price for the first month of release. They're really trying to figure out a way to get around this weird thing where, like, Facebook groups now qualify as retailers and are ordering all of these variant covers for things. So the idea is that we are one of 154 confirmed and bona fide physical retail establishments that will be carrying the Bad Idea press. But like Scott said, this is a new way of doing things. So if you're in for one, you're in for all of it. Simply because that's how our orders have to work. There are some 4-issue miniseries, looks like some 3-issue stuff, some one-shots as well. But if you have any questions at all, please take a look here. And as far as I know, they haven't said anything about collected editions yet. As far as I know, it's all just going to be single-issue stuff. So unlike TKO, who has a really great program of just dropping everything at once, you get singles, they come in a gorgeous little slipcase, or you get a beautiful trade paperback with nice French flaps, slightly oversized. If you can't tell, I really appreciate TKO, and I'm pushing them again because TKO is very good to us. I'm hoping Bad Idea is another thing that works out well. I think they have done a very good job of branding themselves currently, because as much as I find this whole thing annoying, I appreciate that they're trying to get comics to readers. They're trying to avoid this speculator garbage where I can't get someone a copy of Night Hunters #1 because someone tried to buy 5 copies this morning because they think it's going to be good. It was good, is good. Second prints are on the way, don't worry. But yeah, that's the whole point. So this just came in this morning. Just got these preview things, I believe, as we were on stream. No,
we got.
Oh,
that was the box I gave Scott.
that's right. So there's a whole bunch of those in there, right, Brian?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have them by the door. We'll definitely have them up at the counter. But please let us know if you have any interest in the Bad Idea publication line. March 2021 is when ENIAC #1 drops. That is the first issue. That is this Matt Kint, Doug Braithwaite book here. Looks all sorts of crazy cool sci-fi. So yes, please let us know if you are interested in a Bad Idea. I mean, if you're interested in Bad Idea as a publisher. I'm gonna keep burying them just as long as I can. But yeah, so I as always, if you need to reach out to us directly, please feel free to give us a call here at the shop at 206-781-4875. Info@arcanecomicbooks.com for any email requests, or head over to @arcanecomics on all social media and you can DM us there directly. If you see anything on the wall here or you saw something earlier today, please let us know. We will be we do keep up with the comments, so even if you go back and you watch this, if you're watching this in the future and you see something cool, get at us because we might still have it. In any case,
are we doing a Twitch thing again today?
I don't know if we're gonna be doing a full Twitch stream today for some spoilies.
Because we talk about figures.
You did. I know you did read all of them. Did you not?
Yes.
Okay, so you are fully informed.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see. So keep an eye out. That's a good reason to head over to twitch.tv/arcanecomics. Give us a follow. And make sure you keep those notifications on. And who knows, maybe you can get a full spoiler review of all Week 2 Future State releases. If you have any interest at all in any more of the items that we've got here on display, or stuff maybe you're seeing on the website, please let us know. And I would say, keep an eye out on those Twitch streams. Definitely head over to youtube.com and search Arcane Comics. You can find our videos there. We'll be uploading stuff.
There's only 2 things there.
There's only 2 things there currently, because unfortunately I have to remember to download videos after we do them, because it's a lot easier than having to format them from the Twitch website directly, because that is a real pain in the butt. So there will potentially be a 3rd video up very soon. But as always, we do appreciate tuning in. We appreciate anyone.
If you follow the YouTube account, you will possibly know when we upload something.
That's true. You could always follow us. You keep those notifications on.
Subscribe to the channel.
Like, subscribe, comment. All those things help.
Ring the bell.
Whatever it takes. But as always, We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate everyone who has requested items. Get them now while they're hot. This is the last copy of Donny Cates Cosmic Universe Omnibus we've got. They're in stock. We can order more. Don't worry. If you also wanted that sweet Treadmore cover, we can get you one as well. But as always, there's way more comics on the shelves out there than we could show you here. So please head over to arcanecomicbooks.com, click that New This Week tab, and you can check out all of the stuff that we've got in the shop, including reorder items. Don't scroll to the very bottom of the page. Don't look at these things that say zombie.
Those shouldn't be there anymore.
Who knows?
They shouldn't be there.
Either way, even if we don't read it or we don't carry it on the shelf, just know that we can order it for you. So
If it's orderable and you want it, we'll order it for you.
That's right. If you need a comic and we can get you that comic, we'll get it for you. So as always, thank you for tuning in. And Brian, is there anything you'd like to share with the audience before we get out of here?
Do anything on Saturday on my Twitch channel.
Oh, well then, let me remove this. And Brian, please feel free to inform everyone about what you're doing this weekend.
So, over on Twitch, there's my thing. Professor0 _ the O and 0 is the number 0. I'm doing the second official, technically third, stream about me talking about comic books that I've read. So this week, we're going to be talking about the oldest comic book that I have in my collectional series, and one of the, pretty much the only non-American comic book that I would talk about. We're talking about Tintin, the Belgium-French comic book from the early 20th century that I got into in the late 20th century. So we're talking about that, you know, going over the whole series since I have pretty much most of it. There's some like kind of extraneous sort of related things that are not like the main series. But yeah, talking about Tintin, showing off cool stuff in the books, talking about who's my favorite Tintin character, kind of favorite side character, talk about different stuff. So yeah, doing a all Tintin stream on Saturday, starting about like 10 a.m. local time here in like the West Coast. So you can head over at like 10 a.m. see me sitting in my basement amongst all my comics as I sit there talking about Tintin for an hour or two. Most streams are at least 2 hours. Sometimes they're 3. Like last week, I think was a 3-hour one. But yeah. So, also if you wanted to follow me on Instagram, you could see things that I collected and I bought, you know, like 2 different Richard Simmons items. Yeah. So also if you wanted to, you could help out friends of the shop, the Love Family. They have a GoFundMe kind of campaign going on. Also, Randall, a friend of the Randall Love Family, also has a salon. So you could check him out at randalllovesalon.com. So that's it's over here. I keep on thinking it's over there because on the screen it's... Thanks. So you could either go to that link or Kenshi on his Instagram has it linked. So you could go to his, find the link in his bio, and go to the...
I was going to say that's fairly recent. I'll grab it.
Yeah. So yeah, so Chris, we can totally sign you up for the 4 issues of the Knack thing, which will... Yeah, so first issue will be out in March, and then there's one in April, May, and June. Then in July, they have a Christmas comic book coming out.
That's in there because I got it activated.
So yeah, I think that's about it for things of this week. So, yeah. Guess I could stall for time, but who knows?
12/16.
12/16.
So it would have been 3 weeks old
So I might have some.
last week.
Yeah, I've got some.
So
right
does
here.
anyone have any questions?
Did you leave that in
You can-
2014 then?
I didn't take anything out.
You did not?
No.
Okay, well not leave.
We can answer any questions if anyone has any, or we'll just
Trying to see if we've got some more.
trying to fill time and space, and it's a relative dimension in that. So I really don't know what to do for the last couple minutes. But yeah.
Here we go. Here's that number 2 for you.
So if anyone is really caring about of the 7 Future State books, I quite like Justice League. I was probably saying that was the most interesting one of the week.
If it was on the video, it would be out here. What do you remember the name of the book?
But I've also kind of talking about Future State
From this
that they've
one?
actually been using a couple different older characters from other books. You can kind of see them on the cover of that, but Solaris, the Tyrant Son, shows up in Superman Wonder Woman. So, originally introduced in DC 1 million, and has been used a couple other times of the year. So, yeah. You get some classic from 2 different eras of classicness of Justice League villains and Justice League. Yeah.
See you doing?
So yeah, Adrian, we can also sign you up for that idea stuff.
All right. Yeah. So as far as the bad idea stuff goes, if we'll get people down now, but realistically, if you can just email us directly, the info at Arcane Comic Books email address. That way we will start keeping a actual log of everything, because unfortunately we don't have the items in our standard system, so we are just going to be tracking stuff using some database stuff. So we will start that now, but if you can do me a favor, Chris, Adrian, anyone who's been asking about the bad idea stuff, please send us an email directly at info@arcanecomicbooks.com, and that way we'll have a digital copy, and we'll make sure that
Or
we
the paper trail.
have everything tracked. Exactly. But we will at least take down all the info from the comment section today. But like I said, just do me a favor and confirm through that email. That way we make sure no one misses out on anything. Yeah. So Brian, you feel like we've confidently covered all the releases for the week?
Sure.
Sure, question mark. All right, well in that case, I'd say why don't we go ahead and wrap stuff up for today, and hopefully we'll see people over at twitch.tv/arcanecomics or twitch.tv/professor_0 on Saturday. Keep an eye out.
With my 3 viewers.
Hey, you never know. It's growing. Also, if you like those early Saturday streams, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time usually, around then. Keep an eye out. Let's keep yours up there.
Okay.
All right, but in any case, thank you as always for everyone who has requested stuff. And once again, don't forget, we are a bad idea retailer. So keep that in mind. When you think bad idea, think Arcane Comics. We've been a bad idea retailer since the beginning. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in, and say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, Brian.